Hi guys, so as the post-mortem begins within the Conservative Party as to why they lost 2 by-elections in one day and saw a significant portion of their voter base stay at home or switch to opposition parties, denial of reality has begun to set in. Robert Buckland, the former Lord Chancellor, suggested that his party is not a cult but a representation of mainstream moderate politics. He also claimed that the reason for the loss was down to messaging. What the heck? Have a listen to this.
How much trouble is the Prime Minister in? What do you mean by listen to?
Well, I think two things. One, a short period of reflection. We've got to take in the enormity of these results. They are very much the product, I think, of a sort of double whammy. You've got a Liberal vote in the southwest that is, I think, partially driven by protest at the government, and then you've got the Labour return in Wakefield. This requires deep thought, but it also requires action. And I think the Conservative Party, the party of government, still has the answers that this country needs. What has been, I think, frustrating for those of us now on the side, if you like, is the lack of focus and a real sense of a coordinated message here.
What do you mean, a real focus and coordinated message? The message has always been the same. Boris Johnson, led a world-beating vaccine rollout. Boris Johnson got Brexit done. Boris Johnson was right on all the big calls. The message has always been the same. Every time a Tory was interviewed in the media, the message was always the same. Boris Johnson got all the big calls right. He got Brexit done. He led on the vaccine. He's dealing with the cost of living crisis. Billions of pounds have been given to help people during this cost of living crisis. The message has always been the same. It's just that it's been a pile of crap
about what the government is doing and what it needs to do. And let's not forget, the Conservative Party is a broad coalition of people of different views across the centre-right of politics. We need to reflect that far, far better. We're not a sect. We're not some iconoclastic tribe trying to overthrow the state. We are a mainstream political party that represents mainstream moderate opinion in this country.
Mainstream moderate opinion? Really? An internationally condemned asylum policy. That's mainstream moderate opinion. Breaking international law by attempting to tear up an agreement 2.5 years later. That's mainstream moderate opinion. Denying poor children free school meals and then doing a U-turn because of public pressure. Illegally proroguing Parliament. Handing out contracts to for PPE to donors and mates. Attacking P&O ferries when they laid off staff and rehired agency staff, then planning to introduce legislation that would do exactly the same thing for rail workers. That's moderate mainstream opinion. Really? You can't fix problems unless you realize there is a problem. You recognize the problem. You admit that there's a problem. You look at the problem. What is the problem? Boris Johnson is the problem. Our policies are the problem. We need to change. We need to move away from the far right and move back to the centre. But until Boris Johnson goes, that's not going to happen. And until members of the Conservative Party realise that Boris Johnson is the problem and these policies are a problem, then nothing is going to change. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.